I'm not much of a bar catcher, guys. I've said this in too many videos. I'm going to stop saying it. Or either that or I'm going to name my channel, I Don't Catch Bars. But what's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is...
Russell's React.
Hit them like, share, bell, and subscribe buttons for me. Keep them comments coming. Check out my playlist down in the description box to see more of my reactions. You'll also find a link there to buy me a coffee to help support this channel. When you do, you can get an ASAP reaction from me of something that you want me to react to. I'm also now able to offer a YouTube membership where I'll give you a personal shout out in my videos. First name only unless you prefer otherwise. Plus, you'll get priority comment replies. So hit that join button if you want to be a member of the Russell's React family. I want to give a shout out to Shannon for being my first member. I definitely appreciate the support. I also want to recognize the coffees that y'all have bought for us. Shannon, Sarah, Christine, Shay, Dave, Peter, and Christina have all supported us in this way. We appreciate it very much. Most recently, we have X-IsleTheWanderer again, and I appreciate it a lot, bro. His request is another one of his own creations called Where. I've realized pretty fast that X-IsleTheWanderer likes to make very lyrical songs and speak about faith and struggles, and listening to him speak truth so impactful is what keeps bringing me to his music. And while I do appreciate the coffees, man, his content is going to get the attention here anyway. I've reacted to a few of them. He's bought me a coffee before. This is another one, and I plan on doing a couple more songs off of his new album that he's put out. So y'all make sure y'all go check him out. Hop over on his channel, check him out there, support him in any way that he has for you too. Mainly, I would say, by just checking out his content and liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all that stuff for him. So if you're here for it, let's get it. Y'all, just so you know, I got the lyrics pulled up. I know this guy goes hard on the beat, so I just went ahead and pulled the lyrics up, and thankfully, he provides those in the description box. So all you gotta do is, if you're watching the video on his channel, you scroll down the description box and you get lyrics. So I've got it pulled up right here. That's his video with the lyrics underneath it.
I've been crossed at the cross as I cross these waters. Often I'm lost as I'm tossed out farther. God, am I possibly dropped in slaughter? The cost is a lot and I'm rock, no tartar. What do I do with this pain? Do I deliver to you a refrain? I'm on a hook in the booth and I'm stained and I'm floundering. Tell me just who goes sustain?
So first off, you got me with the cross thing. I've been cross at the cross as I cross these waters. You've been angry at God? We're talking about being cross, being mad at somebody at the cross, which is Jesus, God, as I cross these waters. Then the other thing I noticed, and I'm not much of a bar catcher, guys. I've said this in too many videos. I'm going to stop saying it. Or either that or I'm going to name my channel, I Don't Catch Bars. But I guess it's because I got the lyrics pulled up like this, and I can look back. I think, that's one thing I don't like about lyric videos. I like them, but what I don't like about them is you can't look back at the lyrics. This one, for instance, he's talking about, I'm on a hook in a booth. There's a hook in a booth talking about music. And, your chorus is a hook, which is also a refrain, is another name for chorus or another name for hook. Then with the waters thing, he's got hook with floundering. That's a fish thing going on. Sustain, that's musical, going back to refrain. I'm gonna have to put the lyrics down. I'm gonna get so wrapped up in this, I'll just be talking the whole video and we ain't gonna listen to no music.
Lost out farther. God, am I possibly dropped in slaughter? The cost is a lot and I'm rock no tartar. What do I do with this pain? Do I deliver to you a refrain? I'm on a hook in the booth and I'm stained and I'm floundering. Tell me just who gon' sustain? I reel in my thoughts but the line getting strained. Trying to stay afloat but the tide it just gains. I cry through the notes that I hide in the pain while I write like a boat that's been tied up in chains.
Okay, here we go. I reel in my thoughts. That could be taken as I'm real in my thoughts. My thoughts are real. But yet I reel in my thoughts.
Bruh.
Exile, I'm going to be honest with you. The other songs that I've listened to of yours, I think I kind of captured more general meaning. For some reason in this one, I can't get past just seeing so much wordplay and stuff in this one. This is insane to me.
My voice gotta tremble, I'm pressing the and I'm floundering, tell me just who gon' sustain? I reel in my thoughts but the line getting strained. Trying to stay afloat but the tide it just gains. I cry through the notes that I hide in the pain while I write like a boat that's been tied up in chains. My voice gotta tremble, I'm pressing the booth like a vinyl away, a confession of truth. I'm a wreck with a deck full of records and proof, but the needle keeps skipping, won't let it run smooth.
So I'm gonna read through this just because I can't help it. This video is gonna be an hour long, so we've got a whole like water and fish and boat thing like going on. You know, I don't know what category you would call that, but then the musical thing is what's really got me is that. So I cry through the notes that I hide in the pain. So I don't know, if we're talking about writing notes and stuff like that, but there's musical notes too. My voice got to tremble. At first, I read that as treble. I don't know if you did that on purpose. Pressed in the booth like a vinyl. That's, talking about a record. I'm a wreck with a deck full of records. This is crazy right here. Guys, that's about as much as I can pull out of it. My brain...
Shut up!
That's what it's saying. It's like, I can't take anymore. I am shutting down. And just to go back to the hook there and talk about that for a second, since we've done so much talking already. Where do you guide in a suffering? Where's the finish line? Where do I get up again? It's like, a shout. I think, he does this in all his music. So I appreciate that, because that is exactly where I come from in my relationship with God for a long time. Is I never understood why. Like, why would you allow everything that's allowed to happen on this earth? So, I don't know, what exactly his specific thing is towards here, but that's just my relationship to it. So, where are you, God? When I'm suffering? When the world's suffering? Where's the finish line? Well, just my 2 cents on that without getting too deep into it. We're in the middle of a song, but the finish line is going to be the end of the world. That's just what I think. That's what I believe. In the meantime, despite all the suffering and all the evil that's in the world, as a Christian, you're supposed to move past that. So, I don't know. By move past it, I mean understand that the world is the way the world is, and so you've got to separate yourself from that in a humane, human, godly way. Like, I'm not a preacher, so I don't know how to really say it. But if you get what I'm saying, or if you don't, let's figure this thing out.
What's the key to this lock that you said was the door? I've been knocking so long that my hands get sore. Got a line to your grace, but it's tangled in chords, so I pray through the static, not sure what it's for. Tuned to the silence, still straining to hear. Every beat still feel like I'm chained to the fear. If you mapped out the plan, what I weigh, so unclear for your signal drop out with the pain getting near. Been open for years, but the wound ain't stitched. Trying to stomach this faith, but it's bruising my ribs. Is it healing or harm when you're moving like this? Felt the cut of the word, but I'm losing my grip. Maybe scars ain't a flaw, but a suture and flesh proof. The knife didn't kill, but cut truth from the rest. You ain't absent, just taking the tumor in my chest and the break in my rhythm. Been room to reset. Where are you, God, in this suffering?
Do you breathe, my guy? Do you breathe? He's talking about in this. So in the last verse, I was catching a bunch of references like meanings and wordplay, and by a bunch I mean very few. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch that I missed, but if we get back to the general idea of the song, which is what I typically like to do, we're talking about crying out to God, or wondering where God is in certain instances. I'm living my life, I'm struggling, I'm having a hard time. Where is God? So in this verse seemed to me, I felt the more general feeling in verse number 2 rather than verse number 1. And that ain't saying it wasn't there. It's just in verse number 1, my brain was exploding over wordplay. On the second one, I've seen some stuff talking about, like, had some telephone references, had some Stitch references, but it's still, all in all, we're talking about your connection with God, and when life gets tough, things get hard, you feel like the line's been dropped. You feel like the connection's been lost. You feel like there was maybe some people, and even me, I felt like the connection was never there at one point. It's like, I was like, what? This ain't even real. I mean, this is stupid to sit here and think that there's somebody there looking out for me. And understanding God is a crazy thing. So, like I said, I'm not a preacher, so I don't understand things in the way that somebody very educated would. I've gained some understanding myself, and that's kind of just what I think about it. Let's continue.
And the break in my rhythm, been room to reset. Where are you, God, in this suffering? Where's the finish line? Where do I get up again? Where are you, God, in this suffering? Where's the finish line? Where do I get up again? Where are you, God, in this suffering?
Emphasize that point. Where are you, God? Sometimes, guys, I feel like that question goes unanswered. Like, and by unanswered, I mean, where's God? He needs to be in your heart. It's easy to claim God when everything's going right. Right? You got your life on track. You're strong in your faith. You're strong in your community. You're strong in your job, your career. Your financial situation's good. Your family's good. Everything's happy. Everything's moving along well. Your day to day. Everything starts correctly, ends correctly. I feel like everything would be easier that way to have faith. Where faith becomes really important is when things are not going that way. Because in a way, that's why you need faith. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's a tough one to explain. I've been there many times, and I mean, if we're just being real honest, that's kind of how life is today. It's I don't sit here at this point in my life and say, where is God? I think just myself, I've come to an understanding that He's there, and it's not for me to expect Him to make my life easier. It's for me to serve Him and worship Him, and the hope is for eternal life with Him, which will be amazing. So I don't know. That's some rough thoughts. That's some just me thinking right off the top of my head right now, and not really putting a whole lot of, before thought into it. That's just kind of how I think about things. Until next time, guys, peace out.